In this video, you'll learn how to configure Skybot Scheduler's standby server. As you can see on my production server here, my standby server is not configured. So let's set it up. First, you need to install Skybot on your backup server. And then you'll configure it for standby mode. So we'll go ahead and go through the installation. Your backup server's operating system needs to match your production server, as well as the processor architecture, 32 or 64-bit. The time zones also should match. So we'll start the install. While the install is running, we can go over to my production server because there's some information on that server that we're going to need for configuring for high availability. So underneath Server, we'll look at the server properties. What we're going to need are the IP address of your production server or the host name, and then also the listen port. The other item that you'll need is the password for your admin user on your Skybot production server. During the install, you'll be prompted for a password for your Skybot user on that server. Enter that. It will create the user and the password. You'll also be prompted for the ports that the Skybot Scheduler will use to communicate with your server. And if these ports are okay, you can click OK. If not, you can change those port numbers to what you'll need on your server. Once your install is complete, then you'll go over to the directory where your Skybot Scheduler is installed, and we'll run the configuration file. So on a Windows server, it's under Program Files, Skybot, and we want the file in the Skybot Scheduler directory, this master to standby. On a Unix system, you will run that same script. Skybot is installed under the Skybot and Server directory, and then here's your master to standby script that you'll go ahead and run. So we're just going to run that. And what's going to happen when we run this configuration is that this program will convert the Skybot scheduler that's installed on this computer, and it will change it from master to standby mode. What it does is it deletes the database that we installed just a minute ago, and it replaces it with a replicated database from your production server. So that conversion takes a minute. So here's where you would enter the name of the server or the IP address, and then this is where you need that admin password. So this is the admin password from your enterprise server. Go ahead and enter that. And now we're going to replace the database, so it goes ahead and run the configuration. And this configuration takes just a minute as well. So the initial install probably takes about 3 to 4 minutes, and then this configuration takes another couple minutes. So once that configuration is complete, you'll want to check and verify that indeed your standby server was set up. A couple of ways that we can do that. One of those is you can log on back to your production server and go to System Settings. And now you'll see down at the bottom of the System Settings, we've got under the standby server the IP address and the port for that server. And now you can also enter an email address in here for who needs to be notified if the standby server needs to be brought up in production mode. Also on the home screen, now you'll notice instead of saying that the standby server is not configured, our standby server is active. The other thing you can do to test this configuration is you can try to log in to your backup server, and what you'll get is a message stating that this server is replicating the data from your production server. It's a standby to master connection, and this is the standby system. And then you'll also see down here that the files are being replicated. And so this probably takes a couple of minutes to complete. Once your replication is caught up, you're good to go. All of your rules, logs, reports have all been moved over to your standby server and will be copied over there in real time. So thank you.